Coach, how do you, after such a great effort the other night in that win, how do you psychologically and physically approach this game against Tech?
Well, we'll start today because we took Tuesday off, obviously, and then yesterday we had a 35-minute practice, and all the guys that played the heavy minutes did was just shoot for 15, 20 minutes. So we basically 2 days off in a row, and then we'll get back after it today. And we talked about that and understanding that today and tomorrow have to be real days because, guys are fatigued. Frank, he said, Coach, I got nothing still yesterday. So, and so much of that is not the physical, it's the emotional letdown, from going from being so geeked up to being drained. And so we'll handle it. But I don't know if there's a perfect way to do it. I think Texas Tech probably helped us some last night because our guys saw what they're capable of. That was a game in which Iowa State controlled, 2, 4, 6 points, but Tech actually had a chance to win. And so I think they certainly got our players' respect.
Bill, not to dwell too much on Monday, but I was just wondering, did you get any calls or texts or more than usual from people that watched that game, or any cool people reaching out to talk to you about that?
They were all cool. I didn't. I mean, I got a ton from, got a lot from coaches. That are just said watch the game. Unreal game, that kind of stuff. But mostly just friends or acquaintances. An AAU coach or a high school coach that you met and just wanted to say congrats or whatnot. But I did get a lot, and I'm sure all the coaches did and the players did. But there was a lot to return the next day.
Can you talk about the energy Jamari brings off the bench and how important that is to the team?
Well, that's what he does as much as anybody. I thought Jamari played great, and of course those 2 defensive plays he had in the second half were fabulous, and then certainly he was kind of an offensive spark for us to start the second half when nobody else was very good. So I thought Maury played great. I thought the combination of he and Landon in that particular game were both really, really good. But, energy is important off the bench, and certainly I think Maury plays to a pretty high energy level, pretty consistently. I still think he can do better, but I thought he, we probably wouldn't have won the game unless he played in it.
There was a play under the hoop where the shot clock went off. Is it possible there was a tenth of a second left?
I don't know. I guess anything's possible. I don't understand. The thing about that one is I don't know. I wish you guys would research this. I don't know who starts it. I don't know if the official starts it or if the people at the scores table starts it.
That's Larry, and he said the guy at the table starts it. The refs and the table all have the game clock.
So he starts the shot clock. So there may have been less than 1 second left. It seemed like to me that it may have gone off before he even touched it. But if there's less than 1 second left, we would not have made the basket anyway. It would have still been in his hands. It just seemed pretty quick. But if there had been a full second left, that could have been a big play. But I don't understand if Larry Keating would know better than anybody.
Shot clocks don't have tenths like the game clocks
Right.
right now. So it's back like it was 20 years ago when you used to have that problem with the game clock where it says 1, it could be a tenth of a second.
So, but if it says 1, could it be 1.4 seconds? You see what I'm saying?
No,
So,
it was 1.4.
okay. So yeah, there was a good chance that there was well under a second left. So the NBA has the tenth of seconds on the shot clock, but certainly. The other thing that I don't understand about the shot, there was a game, I think it was last night I was watching, or maybe it was the night before, maybe it was Kentucky LSU, I can't remember, but there was a shot clock violation. It was Kentucky LSU. LSU made a long 3 well after the clock hit 0. But is there not a light that goes off whenever the shot clock hits 0 on the shot clock? It's because it didn't happen in that game. So do we have the new updated ones? So do you go by the light or the time? Because I don't. Did the light go off when Perry made the shot? I don't know. So that would be the thing that, I mean,
You go by the light.
I know.
Why wouldn't it gone off?
Why wouldn't the light gone off if it hit 0? This is going to be our own press conference right here. If we could just do this, huh? So we shouldn't even worry about the time. We should just worry about the light.
They go off at the same time. One triggers the other.
That's not true.
No?
I mean, you see numerous times when you go to shot clock violations where the clock could say 0, but the light hadn't gone off yet. I mean, it's not always the exact time. Isn't that right, Larry?
They would typically use the buzzer as the first review. So if the buzzer goes off,
Yeah, the buzzer's the one probably that is connected to the light, though, I would think.
they're all connected. The
So-
problem is you hear the buzzer before you see the light.
Okay. Well, ours should not have counted if there was less than a second left. There's no way that Perry could have got it off. So
Why is, I mean, they gave you a great game last year too down there, almost beat you. I think it was last.
no, it was the year before.
2 years
Yeah,
ago.
we actually played pretty well down there last year, and the year before, Joe missed a short shot and Wiggs dunked it in at the buzzer, or tipped it in, and we won by 1. So.
Why are they so good this year?
You know what? It's the same team as last year, and I think they're just older. And I could be wrong. You guys could look at this. I think they may have taken a trip this summer. I could be wrong. Did they, Chris, take a trip this summer? So you get the extra time, and their players individually have gotten a lot better. And Tubby will will them to be better and will them to be good. But they're really a nice team. I mean, they're definitely an NCAA tournament potential team. And you look at their RPI. What were they, 4th or 5th in the RPI in the country? And strength of schedule is well under 15 or something like that, or 20. So yeah, they've improved a ton.
Bill, you talked earlier about Sheck being so close to you, maybe more so than other athletes just because of the circumstances. Has that kind of continued now, even through? Does he still ask you kind of for feedback?
Oh yeah, all the time. And Norm watches tape with him every day, every other day, every 3 days, whatever. But the whole thing is this is what I told him the other night, and I mean this. I love for him to play a lot, but like the other night, there was no doubt that Jamari and Landon gave us a chance to win the game. It's hard to put freshmen that really don't have any experience, I mean, in any real big games or anything like that, put them in the game when you're down 10 to the number 1 ranked team in the country, playing at home. I mean, you don't actually get up, say, okay, go win the game for us. You've never been here, but go do that. And so the thing about it is, I thought those other guys played great, and Sheck's just very young. I mean, he's basketball wise, he's very, very, very young, and he's going to be a terrific player, and nobody has ever doubted that. But where he is right now, after being with him for 6 months, I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, I think guys have to go through some natural things, and he hasn't had. I used this analogy earlier, and this is not being critical at all, because it's not an academic situation, but from a basketball situation and experience and knowing how to play. And, kids that go to kindergarten, they go to preschool first. Kids that go to first grade go to kindergarten first. I mean, you're asking him to go right into 3rd grade from a basketball experience standpoint. Nothing to do academically. But just to jump a couple of the natural things that have to happen to really get to where you can understand the game and have better feel. That's going to happen, guys. It's going to happen. I hope it happens this year. But I mean, even in practice every day, there's something that he's learning and picking up, and it doesn't have anything to do with intellect. It doesn't have anything to do with that at all. It just has something to do with him just being raw from a basketball standpoint. It's going to happen, but he's got to be patient, and we got to be patient too, because if we're not patient, and if he's not patient, it does nothing but slow the process down a little bit.
More just picking up the nuances of the game. That's where
Absolutely. Without going into any detail, but we could go into a lot of detail. But if you're guarding a big guy that's not a real good perimeter threat, and somebody else is guarding Woodard, and he's a great driver. Well, you're an extra strong help to make sure you discourage the drive and make him throw it to your man. Whereas sometimes we just think, well, I'm going to guard my man. My man's not going to score. And so a lot of times, the way you look at it, well, my man didn't score. Well, he really did, because we weren't in the right position. Those are just things that will come. It's just going to happen in time. And that's just an example on things like that. But I love the kid. Nobody was happier after the game than him that we won.
Hey, Bill, you kind of mentioned giving the kids a couple of days off. If this was not a big Monday game and it had been a Wednesday game,
yeah, we'd be in trouble.
We'd be deep trouble on Saturday.
The only other game that I can compare to, when we played Missouri here, I don't know if you guys remember, we played Oklahoma State on Monday night at Oklahoma State. And after the game, what do you do? After that game, say, okay, go home and get some rest. I told them, hey, go have a good time, be smart, and then just don't do anything on Sunday and hope like heck that you're got enough batteries to play on Monday. Unfortunately, we did that particular game, because I think that was a game that kind of clinched it or did something. So, I don't think that we would have responded very well at all.
When the schedule comes out and you look at it, is the first thing you see, one of the first things you see, you got to go down to Lubbock, then you got to go all the way to West Virginia.
No, I don't. Yeah, they're both going to be really tough games, but I don't look at it that way at all. I look at how many big Monday games, and that's basically it. Because how many days, quick turnarounds, and we had the one deal where we played game day at Iowa State. Was it last year or the year before? Last year we played game day at Iowa State, so you get home at 2 or 3 in the morning, then you turn around and play big Monday against Oklahoma, who's terrific. I think those are the things that I probably look at, and everybody goes through tough scheduling deals, but I don't look at it. We caught a break this week because the manner in which Monday's game was played. We at least got some time to rest before the next game, so I would call that a break.
Bill's going back a ways, but when you guys got Hunter, I remember it happening pretty quick when he transferred. What was, what did you kind of see from him, or how did you know that he was a guy you wanted in the program?
Well, we knew him in high school, so from a character standpoint, there's no question we wanted him, and I think from a basketball standpoint, he's 6'10", he's long, he can make a shot, he can block shots, and so there was no doubt that we thought that he could be an impact guy for us eventually and be part of our rotation. And it hadn't happened as soon as what he probably would have hoped, but I think Hunter went through a period of time where he didn't love the game near as much, and I think he just fell back in love with it, to be real candid, this year. And maybe over the summer, and that's a big reason why I think he's much more passionate about basketball than what he was the first 2 years he was here. And I could be wrong on that. You'd have to ask him, but I certainly see a different bounce in his step.
Did South Korea do a lot for him?
I think so. Yeah. And I think also the obvious opportunity. You go to South Korea and obviously Sheck doesn't go, Landon, Jamari, Hunter, Carl. So we had 5 of our bigs there. But the fact that I thought he was as good as any big that we had over there, I think it did a great deal for his confidence.
When you were over there, did it ever enter your mind that there was a shaky dictator in North Korea?
Wow. No, we didn't worry about that. No. We were probably 6 hours away from the border, and but it was talked about, not necessarily with us and the locals, because nobody could understand each other, but it was talked about. We got education. We had some educational classes where people told us about how things are, and one of the biggest tourist areas of the country, and I've just gone brain dead. the area right between north and south. No, the area. Gosh dang it. Yes, yes. They say that's one of the greatest tourist places that you can go just to get a feel for what's going on. It's but we didn't have an opportunity to do that. So it was a great trip. It was educational, but we did at that particular moment we were not worried about North Korea.
Back to Hunter for 1 sec. Sorry, Tom. You said at the beginning of this year that you didn't really give him a chance. I'm just wondering, looking back at last year, do you feel like you gave him the chance? I mean, do you feel like him not getting to play last year? Do you look back and say, hey, maybe we could have used Hunter a little bit more?
Well, I think hindsight's always a lot better, but you know, you look back on last year's team. You know, we thought Cliff would be with us all year long. You know, if you know that you're not going to have your best players at the end of the season, then you should probably prepare other players to play. And we didn't really do that because we thought we'd have Cliff. You know, so that's what I'm talking about with hindsight's being 20/20. You know, there's a lot of things that you would do different based on circumstances that you can't really control. But I look back now. You know, Jamari, there's a trust factor. Landon, there's a trust factor. There probably wasn't as big a trust factor with Hunter yet, and then we had Cliff too to go along with Perry. So he was just the odd man out.
What do you like personnel-wise from Tech?
Athletic guards. Can really guard and pressure, especially in the half court. And their bigs have really, really, really improved. And they're big. I mean, they play two legitimate bigs. So I think they're a team that you have to beat. I don't think they're going to beat themselves.
Did Jamari survive that incredible fall?
Yeah, I asked him yesterday how's his back. He said my back's fine. I kind of messed my knee up, so he's fine with that. It was a hard fall though. You know that basketball is so weird. I mean in that particular moment we caught a break because when he fell, and it was a legal fall. I mean there was nothing illegal, but when he fell, his foot was on the end line. Saved us 2 points because Buddy had the rebound for an uncontested basket. And the referee, you know, obviously made a real good call that as he came down, his foot slid, and so while his ball was in his hands, his foot was on the end line. Most officials wouldn't see that, and so that was kind of a semi-break, and that's kind of how things go in sports sometimes. Sometimes you get a little fortunate based on the situation, and sometimes you don't.
Any other questions? For Larry Key?
All right, guys, thanks.